continuation of this storyline. We didn't get to see a lot of this play out at All Out, but we got to see Malakai Black back in action here on Dynamite. His entrance alone is worthy of tuning in. Just the guy when you and we got to listen to him too at FanFest. If you can go out there and search that out, folks. Get an opportunity to hear Malakai Black taking the Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Really insightful, intelligent guy. You could tell he studies the craft and he's very purposeful with everything he does. And it was evident in this matchup against Dustin that they pointed it out. The commentator team talked about it from the get-go. Malakai was playing into the mind games, trying to get into the head of the natural. What were your thoughts on this one, SPD? Like, I know that you've been an advocate for Dustin Rhodes. It feels like he continues to push himself to stay relevant. And honestly, physically, looks fantastic for his age. He can still go in the ring. What were your thoughts about this matchup between, a striker like Malakai Black and a brawler like Dustin Rhodes?
That's well said, and that's definitely the thing I took out of it. It was a hard-hitting affair for sure. And you said it best. I mean, the natural Dustin, I mean, he has grown even better in the ring as he ages, like fine wine. I mean, the guy's got it all, and clearly the fans see it, given that you still got a chance nonstop like that. That brutal suplex through the table right away with Black. But what I loved about it was the physicality with this, but the storytelling with the boot. When he took Cody's boot from the first match he was there, we kind of were, throwing the idea of maybe he's going to collect things like a collector of his victims, things like that. And we didn't see that when he was with Lee Johnson or against Brock, but we did kind of reminiscent. And then later in the show, we found out that we're going to get Cody re-debuting in New York on the 22nd, that they're going to go toe-to-toe in a rematch. So that's going to be pretty epic as well in AEW's largest show. So I enjoyed it for sure. I mean, the fact that Dustin can throw that amazing Canadian destroyer, it's absolutely brutal, man. This one, Black stood out again for me. And granted Mox was in his hometown, but I was hoping that we would continue the trend of Malakai Black being the main event Malakai, him closing the show. Because he didn't get that spot on the card at All Out. But, I mean, he closed out Rampage. We saw him still getting these big moments. So it was a great opener for sure. And like you said, the entrance is a great way to start the show. It's creepy. It gets the fans going, and he is definitely over with the fans.
The guy knows his theatrics. Bonds, what about you? I mean, obviously, like SPD said, not getting that spot at All Out, some fans were left wanting more from Malakai. I think that, with all the big debuts that happened at All Out, it's easy to forget that Andrade and Malakai themselves debuted very recently, and both guys are a big deal in and of themselves. Malakai feels like he's had, sort of this momentum that seems to be untouchable right now. Putting away Dustin this way, leaving him bloody, spitting up blood. Really, I mean, I think that he's clearly sending a message to Cody, as we've seen in the past. Cody's adversaries can sometimes target those closest to him. What do you think plays out going forward between Malakai and Cody? You see Cody getting his revenge and beating Malakai, or do you think that Malakai beats Cody again? I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, just back to this match really quick. I think that, this was one of those matches where we got to see a lot more from Malakai this week. I think that this is the longest match he's had, and I think that they were setting up specifically for this match with Cody, this rematch. We're going to see a longer match. We're not going to see something quick like last time. We're going to see Cody give him a little more of a fight, and I think that's what should be the case, especially after Dustin gave him such a good fight tonight. This was mostly offense from Malakai Black, but unlike the last two matches he's had, he had to do a lot more to put him away. which was fun. It made it more interesting, especially for the opening match. It wasn't the main event. There wasn't a time crunch. And we got to see something, really cool for Dustin to get in a match like this as well. We always love seeing Dustin on TV. So whenever we get to see him in a big match against somebody like Malakai Black, that's just fun for everybody. And plus the setup here, with the boot, like Downey said, we have some really cool storylines going here with Malakai Black, with all these other guys, these new guys coming in as well. So, man, we're getting spoiled with these the storytelling, all this new stuff. It's like a season of a TV show, guys, and it's hopefully this match with Cody coming up is going to kind of propel his story, Malakai Black's story, when it comes to maybe the House of Black or all this other stuff that he alluded to over the weekend in the Q&A that he was part of.
Yeah, and that's something I asked him directly to talk about the House of Black. That was a question that, the Dynamite Download team got a chance to talk to Malakai in that Q&A, and that was my question. I think that the hints of the House of Black versus Nightmare Family, that would be an interesting – I know that Malakai has laid waste to them, but it would be interesting to see, Cody and his team kind of try to regroup. Cody's certainly on he's going to be on notice. Malakai is not here to play around. I mean, one of the things that I took away from Malakai during FanFest weekend, talking, hearing him speak about the way he approaches this business, it's evident. He's not in there to put on the, do Canadian destroyers and do all these crazy flips and stuff. Malakai's there to put people away. He wants to put them down, and he wants to win gold. I think that's one thing that, for people who followed Malakai's career in WWE, it's evident this guy, there's that untapped potential. Can Malakai be a top guy in a big company? We saw what he could do in NXT. I'm intrigued to see does AEW
what's his ceiling?
Does AEW go all in with him? Is his ceiling, as high as some of us think it can be, given the mystique and the aura that he has, the presence that he carries himself with, his ability to connect with the fans? Does he have that ability to be a top guy, especially in such a crowded roster? Malakai certainly, a spotlight's on him. Cody Rhodes versus Malakai Black is going to really, and like you said, Bonds, in an extended match, that's going to be one that, I think is going to answer a lot of questions.